1. Trust no one. Chances are you will run into other humans. If you see them in the wastelands, ignore them. They will beg you to help them with food and offer to go with you on your journey, but don't listen to them. They will follow you around, and when they get more desperate, they will warn you about dangers close by or point behind you in a convincing manner. Don't acknowledge their presence under any circumstances. Same goes if you're in a shelter or bunker. They will knock on your door and beg you to let them in. Just ignore them. They will leave, but they may return, and you may hear other voices at the doors of your loved ones and friends. Again, ignore them. They can't harm you as long as you ignore them. Eventually, when the sun comes up, they will burrow back underground. Make sure to put salt around the pile of dirt, or any similar pile you run into in the wasteland. 2. Stay inside during the rain. The rain will be acidic and burn your skin slowly and painfully. Even if you have a protective suit, you should find shelter immediately, even if it's under a meager tree. They come out only during the rain, but as long as you stay under some cover, you should be fine. If you're far away from any shelter, try to pay attention to any movement around you. You may see with your peripheral vision silhouettes moving from cover to cover, always just out of your line of sight. Try to follow their movement and to not let them get the drop on you. They will always try to attack you from behind, so as long as you're facing in their direction, you should be fine. 3. Don't eat unfamiliar food. Most of the food is contaminated, so stick with the canned goods, the ones that you're sure were intact. Avoid eating insects or dead animals. There are new types of parasites which hide in the carcasses of dead animals and foods and wait to be ingested by a desperate, hungry traveler. Once inside your intestines, they grow over the course of the next few months until they are healthy enough and in no need of a host to burrow their way out of your body. 4. Don't drink river water. Stick with bottled water, use water purifiers, or boil the water. Do not, under any circumstances, drink from rivers, ponds, etc. If you really have no choice, then use something long to grab water from a distance. Do not get closer than 2 feet to the water, and do not put your hand inside. In the best case scenario, you'll pull out your arm to find a stump in place of a hand. No wound or anything, it'll just look like you've always been missing your hand. In the worst case scenario, you'll get pulled into the water. Make sure to strain the water through a cloth or something similar in case some dangerous plants or insects are inside. Some river bugs are very cunning and hardly visible even in clear water, and if you drink before making sure it's safe, you may feel a sharp pang of pain in your mouth. Upon inspecting it, you'll realize that your tongue is gone, and instead a parasite has attached itself to the stump. Don't try removing it. It will bite down deeper in retaliation until it eats a hole through your throat. You'll just have to live with it, and make sure it always has enough nutrients. Otherwise, it'll start to eat you. 5. Dismember the burnt ones. If you see badly burnt people in the wasteland, don't waste your bullets on them. They can't be killed in any way, no matter what you do. The best thing you can do is sever all their limbs. Even if you cut them in half by the waist, they'll continue crawling towards you. If they see you, Running away will not help, because they will always know where you are no matter where you go. That's why crippling them is essential. 6. Check your body daily for any abnormalities. Whenever you have the chance, make sure to inspect yourself thoroughly for anything that wasn't there before. If you see any scars, blisters, bruises, and other such things which you believe shouldn't be there, monitor them closely in the upcoming days. If they get bigger, cut off that part of the body. If it's on your limb, amputate it. If it's on your torso, try to carve it out. You may have to cut deeper depending on the severity of infection, but don't worry. It won't ever get deeper than the bone. 7. Only travel at night. The wasteland is full of hostile things that will try to kill you. At night, they're going to have a harder time noticing you. If you hear footsteps behind you while traveling, don't stop. Keep walking, but don't run. You don't want to let the thing behind you know that you're aware of it. It should leave by dawn, but you can't stop moving until then. I hope you don't encounter this early on in the night, because walking for 8 to 9 hours until dawn is hell. Keep in mind that more dangerous things come out at day, so find shelter as soon as you're in the clear. 8. Shoot through the head. If you lose all hope and you decide to take the easy way out by ending yourself, make sure to stab or shoot yourself through the brain. If you've been in the wasteland for too long, chances are you contracted a reanimating virus. It's dormant in your brain, but it becomes active once your heart stops. It doesn't just reanimate your corpse, but it brings you back. The problem with this is you will be in sort of a coma where you will be aware of everything, but the virus will control your actions. Destroy the brain to prevent you from becoming a zombified puppet. 9. Avoid well-supplied houses. If something looks too good to be true, it probably is. If you inspect the kitchen or storage of a house and find it well stocked with supplies like canned goods, water, etc., get out of there immediately. It's a trap, and if the inhabitants of the house catch you, they will make sure you regret ever being born. The people who live in these houses were greedy in the old world, afraid they would run out of supplies in the event of an apocalypse, and now they seek to stock up on supplies for the post-apocalyptic world as much as possible. If you're lucky, they'll kill you off right away and dry your meat. But if they haven't had a good meal in a while, they will cut you limb by limb and make sure to keep you alive until there's no more left of you to eat. 10. Use a gas mask. The first thing you should do before ever venturing outside is to wear a gas mask, but not just because of the radioactive fallout. There are particles in the air which, when inhaled, will burn your nose, throat, and lungs from the inside, very slowly. If your throat starts to scratch, and then that sensation exacerbates into mild burning when breathing or coughing, it means you inhaled the toxins, and it will only get worse from there. A bullet to your head would be a mercy. 11. Fully cover yourself from head to toe when sleeping. Years of exposure to the radiation and chemicals will have rendered many of the insects stronger and make them mutate. Mosquito bites can carry far more than just malaria, and if you happen to be stung, remove that part of the body immediately. If you don't, in a few days you'll start to feel a tingling sensation in the part where you were stung. Soon, that entire part of your body will go numb, and upon touching it, it may feel soft and rubbery like a plush toy. The tingling will spread across your entire body, and the best thing you can do then is kill yourself as quickly as possible. The mosquito sting inserted an egg into you, which hatched and reproduced, eating your muscles, bones, and other tissue from the inside out, until all that remains is your skin. 12. If you think you won't make it, always go for a quick death. The wasteland is ruthless and can kill you in so many ways, none of which will be quick or pleasant. If you find yourself hungry, thirsty, wounded, infected, or anything else that would otherwise result in your death, but you have no bullets left, simply go outside in broad daylight. Make as much noise as you can, even though they will find you regardless of whether you're quiet. You'll be dead before you even realized what happened. Your safety is our success. A huge thank you to all of my poltergeists. Alex Schaefer, Bobby Tripp, Calderin, Daniel O'Connell, Erica Warren, Forever, Shadow Blackhawk, JTX31, Mark Zapan, Brian Horn, Spirit Father, Stephen Swiftbird, Twisted Skipster, Alternative Night, and Michael Fawkes. Your donations and continued support are so appreciated. So, as always, thank you. From the very bottom of my heart. He was there, on the center tent pole, sitting on a small wooden platform about 20 feet off the floor. God knows how he got there, because there certainly wasn't any ladder going up. He dangled his feet over the edge and held his fiddle in one hand and the bow in the other. The fiddle and bow seemed to be made of that same dark wood that the floor was, and gleamed in the candlelight like a thing alive. I almost doubted that the fiddle even needed the song and dance man to make its strings hum. We all looked up at him, and he grinned and jumped to his feet while the crowd gasped, worried he might plummet into their midst. And then he began to play.